During the 1970s, few bands embodied the term sui generis like Jade Warrior, and from their eighth recorded, seventh released album, Way of the Sun, the instrumental suite, Sun Ra. Hear all the sounds that are going on, like all the fluttering flutes and strings and everything, and the Okay, on this track we've got, let's see, credited, special credits, John Denith on drums, and Flugelhorn Dick Cuthell. Oh yes, the ubiquitous Dick Cuthell. Yeah. And our basic team of John Field and Tony Duhig on all the other instruments. Not a lot of details as far as like different instruments go in many of the pages I'm seeing on this. Hear the different instruments that are playing into the theme, like. We've got that guitar sound and that flute. Well, that flugelhorn mixture that we were hearing was really getting plunged into this big. It's like the ground was just kind of opening up. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a volcano, Quite intense for a Jade Warrior album from the Island quadrilogy, as it came to be known. The sweet play from Sun Ra to Sunchild. Bit of a Celt influence there, those melodies. I like the different textures. It's like there you've got that backdrop with those notes playing really fast, and then you've got that melody up front, playing a bit slower. It's like there's this big like string laden filigree going on in the background, and then this like flute lace going, weaving throughout it in front. Those guitar sounds are really thick. That it's like I don't know where they come from. It's like I can't really hear they just kind of like beam in with all this like largeness, thickness to them. The title track, "Way of the Sun." More of a Latin influence here. That guitar tone is kind of like Brian May. It's that multi pickup type sound. strange. It almost sounds like a regular guitar and an ebo being played simultaneously. Let's see. Drums, bass, congas, Allan. We've got a few names here. Godfrey, McLean, Allan. Oh, Allan Price. No, not that Allan Price. No, no, scratch that. Kuma Harada. Yeah, on this Japanese bassist on this track. Now, what kind of a piano is that? How many layers do we got going on here? We've got the guitar, we've got the piano underneath it, we've got all that, we've got this whole like layer, this whole bed of percussion going on. And then we've got the rhythm section underneath all that. Really filling up even more the whole sonic largeness of it all. Jade Warrior, Way of the Sun. Brought to you by the team of John Field and Tony Duhig. Two musical partners that go back, way back to the early 1960s when they were playing in a garage and experimenting with African sounds at a time when all their peers were forming instrumental bands, and all their peers were into the Shadows, and they were into, like, I don't know, Henry Mancini, and I guess one of them later remarked that there was probably no market for what they were doing back in the early 60s, but yeah, it was John Field. He said, we never thought about taking it to a record company. There was probably no market for that sort of thing back in like 1962. Well, you would have had to, I guess, have gone to a conservatory or something and risen up through the music industry the more formal, classically trained way, get, apprenticeships with studios and such, like the way that people go about becoming composers and movie and get into soundtrack, as opposed to, and get into like library music and sound, as opposed to going out forming a band, hitting the clubs, and what all their peers were doing. Like everyone knows how you go about the music industry that way, but as two teenagers, they probably didn't know how to go about it the way that would have been more suitable for their kind of music that they were doing back in the early 60s. But anyway, within 10 years, the Times caught up with them, and there was, and of course, some of the rock influence had gotten to these guys via the late 60s expanded areas that were opening up in the wake of Sgt. Pepper, in the wake of like the blues rock boom, and the sonic enlargement brought about by blues rock, the melding of rock and classical, like on, In Hell 'Twas I, A Day in a Life, the blurring of lines between jazz and rock on, the early work of Traffic, Jethro Tull onto Coliseum, and from the other end, I mean, so by 1971, by the time they signed with Vertigo, there was a market for just these otherworldly, exotic cross-pollinations of rock, ethnic music, indigenous music from around the world. And of course, this band these guys had been doing it for so long, longer than everyone else, that they had a handle on things that none of the other bands. I mean, this band was reaching all the way to the Orient and back. And so they just defied classification the whole way throughout the decade. And yet, others in the industry definitely looked up to these guys. I mean, they ended up working, all these people came on board. I mean, here we got the ever ubiquitous Dick Cuthell on one track. The album before this, Fred Frith appears. The album before that, Steve Winwood. Yeah, everyone, people looking for the most adventurous ideas in instrumental maximalist rock were looking to this band. Jade Warrior, the 1978 album Way of the Sun, the fourth in their Island quadrilogy, arguably their best. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Jade Warrior, see the directory of albums by English J artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about this track. Its syntax, its layers, some of the instruments, some of the sources of sounds that I may have misidentified, effects that were used. Heck, how did they get that guitar sound? Till next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.